Okay, so sweet peas are hardy annuals, which means you can start them off in the autumn. I haven't got around to doing that yet. So it's last day of December and I'm going to get a few going and then just do them every couple of weeks if I remember. I don't need masses. But anyway, so what I've got is some takeaway boxes and some lids and some labels so that I know what is what and when I sowed them. Watering can, some paper towel, absorbent paper towel, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to dampen off the paper towel. I don't want it to be a pool of water, I don't want there to be a puddle in there, but I do want there to be enough moisture in there so that all the paper towel is covered, and I'll just tip out any excess. So I just want it to be nice and damp, but not a puddle. Pour a bit more in there. What we can do is just press down just to make sure that it's nice and absorbent. Any excess into another one. Put a bit more in there. This is quite absorbent paper towel. So this is just going to give the seeds enough moisture and it just gives them a bit of a head start. So it's called pre-sprouting, and we can tell then if there's any duds in there. Okay, so I've already done one lot there. So I've done the bouquet mix. So let's do some summer romance. Half a dozen of those. 2, 4, 6. So let's do my summer romance in there, and not forgetting to put in the right label in the right box. I'm going to sellotape those up shortly. Jimmy Shand, I haven't got so many of these, so I'm only going to do 4 of those at the moment. And then we're going to pop on the lids so they're all labelled up. Pop a lid on each one. And they're going to go in a warm place just to pre-sprout. I'm going to go in my sitting room actually, just above, on a windowsill, above a radiator, and I can just pile them up like that. So at this stage, for germination, it's warmth that's important, not light necessarily. Not light necessarily. So it's the warmth that's the main thing. So give them a few days, keep an eye on them, and then I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, so I'm going to have to do this by hand because I can't figure out my tripod. Anyway, so these sweet peas, I set these off inside fairly warm to pre-sprout, little boxes, separate varieties, and just kept an eye on them. So that was the 31st of December. It is now, goodness me, 7th, so about a week ago. Probably should have brought them out a little bit sooner, although we've got quite a variation in the which have pre-sprouted and which haven't. Anyway, they are out here, and my next step, so once they've pre-sprouted, then you want to get them out of the warm and into the cool. So we're outside in the potting shed. There's been a hoar frost all day, so it is plenty cold enough, but they are hardy annuals. So I got a bit carried away and started filling up these root trainers. So these are what we call root trainers. You can use toilet roll though, in a round pot, something like that. Ideally something that is quite long and thin, so that the roots can just go down and for as long as possible, and you're not going to disturb them. Sweet peas do not like being disturbed. So I have mixed up some compost. This is just multi-purpose compost and a bit of perlite, which just opens up the structure a bit of the compost, just helps drainage a little bit and so on. So let me get this back here instead of doing this one-handed a little bit. So I'm filling these up. You can see. Okay, and I'm going to, you do want to tap it down so that it's not compacted, but also it's not full of air, because, so I'm also gonna, yeah, so it's a little bit soft down that end, sorry. Just gonna just gently tap things down a wee bit as well. And I'm just gonna fill in those extra bits up there. Okay, so now we're ready. And then I've got this rather handy implement up here, a pencil, anything like that would do. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just make a little hole down here, and I'm going to be popping those seedlings in and making sure I know what's what. So here we go. Where are we? Can you see that? There we go. So there's my seedling. So we got the seedling growing, got the little rootlet growing. I'm just going to pop it in there gently. That's plenty big enough, that one, but in it goes. I would have liked to have got one a little bit smaller. It's quite difficult doing this one-handed. I might have to make a little bit of a bigger hole there. Let's drop you in. Okay, and then I'm going to put the other ones in as well, because, whoops, it's turned over a little bit, but it'll be all right. At least there were signs of life, so there is still signs of life with these. Done that one, there we go, in it goes. Cover them over gently. I'm going to put the camera down in a moment. But I think you hopefully will get the idea. In goes my label, so I know that, there's my label, so I know that all this line is going to be that particular variety. And I might even put in some coloured labels in each one of those, so I know up to the end. So if I can't get a whole row in, for example, I know which sweet peas are which. Just trying not to get them in a muddle. Before the end of the season. It invariably happens, they still get in a muddle eventually, but I do try. So that is sweet peas, and then they are going to get covered up. This one has a lid somewhere. Should have got that organised. So there is a covered lid, bear with me. This isn't it, I will find it properly in a minute, but just to give you an idea, quite often propagators come with like a little lid like this. This was actually a fridge basket, and I've just recycled it, and it just happens that the root trainers fit in there quite nicely. But anyway, so it's going to cover over, that will just help it along a little bit, and I'm just going to put that, I might even leave them here actually, or in the greenhouse, somewhere cool. I know it is frosty at the minute, but the important thing is you don't want them inside in the heat. They're just going to get too leggy, which means they're going to grow too tall too quickly. They will get weak, and then you kind of, it's so difficult for them to recover then. So you want to slow them down, to be honest, and let the roots go down, let them establish their roots, and they will just grow gradually. We won't be planting these out for a couple of months probably, and I'm going to make a note in my diary that I have transplanted them today. So I've just got the other boxes to do. So that was one box which needs to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 5 boxes to do. Hopefully that's going to fill that lot up, which will be ideal, to be honest. Okay, hope that helps. So a week after pre-sprouting, you'll be going through this process.